What is going on, everyone? This is Cross, and today we are talking about rogues and sneak attack. How does it work? Well, let's find out. Sometimes there can be a lot of confusion at the table on when you can or cannot sneak attack. So let's break it down. Sneak attack. Beginning at first level, you know how to strike subtly and exploit a foe's distraction. Once per turn, you can deal an extra 1d6 damage to one creature you hit with an attack if you have an advantage on the attack roll. The attack must use a finesse or a ranged weapon. You don't need advantage on the attack roll if another enemy of the target is within 5 feet of it. That enemy isn't incapacitated, and you don't have disadvantage on the attack roll. The amount of extra damage increases as you gain levels in this class, as shown in the sneak attack column of the rogue table. All right. So there is a little bit of information to process here. The first is your initial checks, okay? So, are you using a finesse weapon? Are you using a ranged weapon? If any one of those things is yes, you can proceed down the checklist. The next thing is, do you have advantage, or is there an enemy of the target? Not necessarily an ally to you, it just has to be an enemy of the target you are shooting. Is that present? Advantage or the enemy? If yes, then you have the ability to use your sneak attack. So there's 2 tiers of questions that you must fulfill, and you only need to fulfill one option, either or, in each of those tiers. Are you using the correct weapon? Do you have advantage? Is there an enemy of the target? That's all you need to determine. Okay? Doesn't seem that difficult, does it? But this is a question that constantly comes up at tables. So, how do you accomplish this? Rogues have a way of getting advantage pretty reliably from level 2. They have an ability called Cunning Action. And starting at level 2, your quick thinking and agility allow you to move and act quickly. You can take a bonus action on each of your turns in combat. This action can be used only to take the dash, disengage, or hide action. So, you can do a couple of interactions here. You can hide at the end of your turn. At the beginning of your next turn, because you're hidden, if you're attacking with a ranged weapon, you can just attack, have advantage, and get your sneak attack damage. Then at the end of that same turn, you can use your bonus action to hide again, essentially using cover to duck in and out of cover. This is intended to have advantage on practically all of your ranged attacks, to be able to hide behind something, get advantage, and shoot. Hide behind something, get advantage, and shoot. What are the circumstances that allow you to be hidden? Well, the rule of thumb is basically being obscured, or not allowing the opponent to see you temporarily. Even if they have a general idea of where you are, for the most part, passing your hide check allows you to pop up in locations unexpectedly. And even if they know that you're generally in a location, they're still dealing with the rest of combat and can't just sit there and watch for when you're going to pop up. That's sort of the intent in the narrative, and the intent in the class to allow the rogue to have advantage. So if they're hiding behind the table, waiting for their perfect opportunity to rise up and take a shot as the enemy is swinging their weapon at one of your allies, or focused on another character and what they're doing, just sort of turning their head for just a second. And that's really the narrative intent, is the rogue is waiting patiently for that moment that they quit watching for just a second and just look away for that half second. It's sort of like being in a car and driving, and you're paying attention to the road and you're paying attention to the road, but you look down for that half second just to look down at your phone, and then an accident happens. That is essentially the moment in time that the rogue is looking for you to look down and be distracted for that split second, and that's what they're taking advantage of. As a note for DMs, rogues do not get extra attack. It is intended in their kit that they find some form, that they can find some form of advantage just about every round. That's how their kit works. For some circumstances, it's impossible to do that, and that is why they also rely on the fact that an enemy of their target is within 5 feet also gives enough distraction for sneak attack. So, yes, it is intended that a rogue has a reliable way almost every round of combat to get their sneak attack damage. Hey, if you have any questions or concerns or whatever, just leave them in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it brings some clarity to this issue if you have been struggling with it. And I hope to see you next time. See you.